You entered her life with the best intentions. You gave time, attention, and trust, things not everyone deserves. You listened, stayed patient, and always tried to see the best in her, even when her behavior sometimes hurt you. You believed that with kindness and consistency, she would eventually open up and connect with you in a real way. But over time, the care you gave her became something she depended on. She started leaning on you, even controlling your emotions, making everything about her needs. You found yourself walking on eggshells, questioning your own worth, while trying to keep the peace. Eventually, you reached your limit. You stepped back, not because you stopped caring, but because staying meant losing yourself. Now, as you keep your distance, one quiet question lingers. Does she realize she lost someone who truly cared? Does she ever stop to understand the value of what you gave and what she let slip away? This video is about that. What happens inside a self-loving woman when she has no way to reach you for a long time, and how that absence changes her, even if it's too late. Stage 1. Feeling empty without someone to boost her ego. When someone's self-esteem depends a lot on others noticing or complimenting them, losing that attention can feel really rough. Imagine suddenly nobody is praising her, admiring her, or making her feel special. This creates a big emptiness inside. That's when insecurity starts to show up. She might start doubting herself, feeling less confident, and even a little hollow inside. She could begin thinking, am I even important? Do I matter? Because she's used to getting her sense of worth from others, she now struggles to feel valuable on her own. This often comes out in the way she acts around people or online. She might post about her achievements, share lots of pictures, or subtly try to show off just to get noticed. It's not random or harmless attention seeking. It's her trying to fill that emptiness by making sure people still see her as impressive or important. This stage can be tricky to deal with. At first, it might look like a small problem, but it can actually lead to bigger issues. Her desire to get attention back can push her toward controlling behaviors, emotional manipulation, or even creating drama just to make you notice her again. She's not necessarily trying to be mean. She's just reacting to the feeling of being ignored. Knowing this stage helps you understand what's really happening. If she's acting out, posting a lot, or trying to provoke reactions, it's not random or personal. It's a direct result of her ego needing validation. And your absence is the trigger that sets it off. Recognizing this early can help you stay calm and avoid getting dragged into unnecessary drama. Stage 2. Confusion and denial. Once she notices that you're not reacting or giving her attention anymore, the first thing she usually feels is confusion. She might think, wait, why isn't he replying? Why isn't he paying attention to me? This confusion can quickly turn into anger or frustration. She might feel like the situation is unfair or that you're acting superior, looking down on her. But the truth is, the main emotion underneath all this is rejection. For someone whose self-worth depends heavily on others' attention, rejection is terrifying. It's not just hurt feelings. It's like her whole sense of being valued is being questioned. She might try to deny it to herself at first, telling herself, I don't care, or I'm fine without him. But inside, that emptiness is still there. She's feeling it, whether she admits it or not. During this phase, her emotions can feel completely messy, even to herself. She doesn't know how to deal with the silence, so she might react in ways that seem random. She could lash out, argue, or try to make you feel guilty. She might also minimize the importance of your absence, saying things like, "It doesn't matter," or "I don't need anyone." These are defense mechanisms, ways to cover up the fact that she's hurting inside. This stage is tricky because her behavior can feel unpredictable. One moment she seems indifferent. The next, she's frustrated or emotional. But it's important to remember that this isn't really about you doing something wrong. Her reactions come from her own internal struggle with feeling ignored and rejected. Recognizing this stage can help you handle things better. Instead of getting defensive or trying to fix her reactions, it's better to step back and understand what's really going on. She's confused, hurt, and denying her feelings all at once. Knowing this makes it easier to stay calm and avoid unnecessary arguments or drama. Stage 3. Attempts to regain control. After confusion and denial don't work, the next stage is usually about trying to regain control. At this point, she realizes that ignoring her or acting indifferent isn't making her feel better, so she starts taking action to get your attention again. This can happen in small or obvious ways. She might reach out indirectly, like sending subtle messages, posting things online designed to catch your eye, or even dropping hints to make you notice her. Sometimes she might try to manipulate emotions, like making you feel guilty or worried, just to get a reaction. If her attempts with you don't succeed, she may shift her focus elsewhere. This doesn't mean she's over you. It's just her way of coping. She might start seeking attention from friends, co-workers, or online followers to fill the emptiness. This gives her ego a temporary boost and helps her feel noticed again. It's a way to heal herself when her main source of validation isn't available. But even if she gets attention from others, it usually doesn't fully fix the underlying pain. That emptiness inside is still there, quietly waiting. It's important to understand that her actions at this stage aren't always about you personally. She's not necessarily trying to hurt you or play games. What's really happening is that she's struggling to feel powerful, admired, and relevant in a world that suddenly feels like it's ignoring her. Her attempts to regain control are just her way of trying to feel seen and important again. Knowing this stage helps you stay grounded. Instead of reacting emotionally or taking things personally, you can see her behavior for what it really is, a response to her own insecurity and need for validation. Recognizing this can save you from unnecessary stress while she works through her feelings in her own way. Stage 4. Emotional pain and rebuilding her narrative. If she can't get your attention back, she moves into a stage where she starts rewriting her own story in her head. Since she can't control your actions or make you notice her anymore, her mind begins to create explanations that protect her ego. She might tell herself things like, "I didn't even care that much," or "I'm better off without him." These stories help her feel like she isn't a victim of rejection, even though deep down, she still feels the pain. This mental narrative is like a shield. It's her way of coping with the raw feelings of being ignored or abandoned. Her ego needs to stay intact, so she builds a story where she looks in control, strong, and independent, even if it's not entirely true. On the outside, she might seem proud, calm, or indifferent, but internally, she's still processing a lot of hurt. The truth is, being ignored hits someone who relies on external validation very hard. It triggers feelings of rejection and loss, the kind of emotional pain that goes straight to the core. Even if she doesn't show it, she's quietly struggling to process those emotions. She might think she's fine, but inside, she's slowly figuring out how to feel valuable and whole again without your attention. This stage also explains why her behavior can seem inconsistent. One moment, she acts confident or even detached. The next, she might be moody or defensive. This isn't random. It's her working internally to rebuild her sense of self. She's creating a new narrative that helps her feel in control, even if the external situation hasn't changed. Understanding this stage helps you stay grounded. If she seems distant or proud, it doesn't mean she's completely over it. She's just protecting herself while trying to regain balance internally. Recognizing this can prevent you from misinterpreting her behavior and keep interactions calmer and less stressful. Stage 5. Facing loneliness while maintaining a high ego. Eventually, the silence and lack of attention sink in, and she has to face the reality of being alone for a longer period. At this point, she often feels loneliness, emptiness, or even anxiety. But outwardly, she still keeps up a strong, confident front. She looks proud, independent, and like nothing can bother her. To anyone watching, it might seem like she's completely fine and unaffected. Inside, though, it's a different story. Even though she appears confident, feelings of self-doubt, insecurity, and worry are still there. She's working hard to ignore them because admitting this pain would mean showing vulnerability, a side of herself she isn't ready to share. For someone whose ego depends on appearing strong, showing weakness feels dangerous. To cope, she often turns her focus to other areas where she can feel in control and successful. This might be her job, hobbies, friendships, or social media presence. By excelling in these areas or getting attention elsewhere, she can feel some satisfaction and temporarily fill the emptiness. These actions aren't necessarily about ignoring you. They're ways for her to protect her ego and rebuild her sense of worth without dealing directly with the loneliness. The key takeaway for you is this: her outward confidence doesn't mean she's over you or that she no longer needs attention. It simply shows that her coping mechanisms are in place. She's creating ways to feel validated and maintain pride while still processing the lingering pain inside. Understanding this can help you see past the surface and not be fooled by appearances. What she shows the world isn't always what she's feeling internally. Understanding these stages isn't about making you feel guilty or pitying her. It's about awareness, knowing what's really happening so you can handle it in a healthy way. If you've experienced silence or distance from a self-loving woman, you've probably felt confused, frustrated, or even blamed yourself at some point. That's completely normal because her behavior can feel unpredictable and emotionally charged. Knowing what's happening internally gives you clarity. You start to see that her actions aren't necessarily about you personally. They're about her own struggle with validation, ego, and self-worth. This knowledge helps you manage your own feelings better. You can protect your emotional boundaries instead of getting caught up in unnecessary drama or reacting impulsively. It also gives you permission to step back without guilt. You're allowed to focus on your own mental and emotional well-being. You don't have to respond to every post, message, or emotional reaction she puts out. Recognizing her patterns doesn't mean you're ignoring her or being mean. It means you're taking control of your own life and choosing not to be dragged into situations that don't serve you. Ultimately, understanding these stages lets you stay calm and composed. Even if she's trying to provoke a reaction or pull you in, you can engage when you want to, but you're not forced to participate in her emotional ups and downs. It's about keeping your perspective, protecting your energy, and making sure your own feelings come first. Being on the receiving end of a narcissistic woman's attention can be exhausting But stepping away, even for a long time, teaches you something crucial. Your emotional well-being is yours to protect. The more you understand her internal journey, the less power her behavior has over you. You have the strength to maintain boundaries, the wisdom to see through manipulation, and the clarity to focus on your life. Walking away doesn't make you unkind, it makes you resilient. Keep your focus, honor your feelings, and trust in your capacity to navigate relationships with awareness. Life is too short to let someone else's need for control dictate your peace. And as always, because YouTube's algorithm tends to favor videos with strong engagement, if you feel this video has brought you value, a simple like and a quick subscribe would mean so much. It not only helps this message reach more people who need it, but also ensures you will never miss the next video that could make a difference in your journey. Thanks all.